Tomac captured round 7 a week ago at Millville, Minnesota. Last week at round 7, Ryan Dungey continued his historic summer run with a 5th straight win at Millville, Minnesota. The KTM superstar now sits alone in 4th place on the all-time motocross win list. At just 22 years old, he's taken up permanent residence with the sport's all-time heroes, Carmichael, Hanna, and Johnson. Round 8 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship continues from Washougal, Washington. The beautiful Pacific Northwest and the banks of the Columbia River Gorge welcome you to round 8 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. This is the Peterson Cat Washougal National from Washougal, Washington. And we already have a great 450 moto number 1 in the books from earlier today. Let's show you the highlights. Mike Alessi fast all day in practice and qualifying and puts his number 800 Moto Concept machine into the number 1 position off the start.
The whole shot artist was out and he put in some fantastic laps, kept the lead. But the question was, where was Ryan Dungey?
Yeah, our series points leader. There he is in 3rd. Has to battle it out with Jake Weimer, trying to get back to the number 3 spot. Weimer got him. Here's Dungey trying to get him back.
Dungey going around the outside of Weimer here. Weimer doing what he should do, protecting the inside. Dungey didn't worry about that. Keeps the KTM moving on the outside. Takes the spot from Weimer. Now, the big crash.
Oh, 2nd place. Josh Grant has been looking for a good start, an opportunity to run with the leaders all year, and it ends like that.
Oh, that was just a vicious crash. He would get back up and remount, but mistakes were the theme of Moto 1 for everybody except for Mike Alessi.
Here's Dungey trying to challenge Alessi for the lead. Once he got the 2nd, he closed in and then nearly goes down. Alessi protecting the good line.
That was so close. And then here, Dungey trying an outside line. Berm blows out, lays the KTM down.
Now it looked like Alessi would have an easy time of it from there, but Dungey would actually catch back up after the crash and set up a last lap showdown. But Alessi doing a phenomenal job covering the lines, and for the first time this year, Mike Alessi has won a moto. Show you the results from this one. Dungey a very close 2nd, Weimer in 3rd. Great racing there in the first moto.
And how about Weston Pike riding the privateer Suzuki out of Wildomar, California? Top 10, finishes 9th. Great moto.
Well, hello, everyone. Jason Wygant, joined by 4-time AMA National Champion Jeff Emig here at Washougal. Mike Alessi said the first plan, lead some laps. The 2nd plan, turn those laps led into a moto win, and then maybe follow it up with an overall. So that's the big question, Jeff. Can he get that overall win? Can he deliver in Moto 2?
Well, Dungey is extremely strong, and he did make a mistake, but I believe that Mike Alessi can. But he has to follow the same game plan as Moto 1. He's got to get the whole shot. He's got to ride clean laps. And even though Dungey made the mistake and gave him a little gift there, he really didn't take advantage of it because Dungey reeled him back in. But Alessi rode the inside lines, and at the end of the race, he finished strong, and that's what you have to do to beat Ryan Dungey, is to be strong and consistent.
All right, well, it's very interesting now that we have someone to challenge Ryan Dungey. We'll see how it turns out. For more, let's send it down to the starting line and Tiffany Simons.
Ryan, now that you've had a moment to kind of take it all in after that moto, when you look at this start, how much more importance do you place on this than what you have maybe in the past?
I mean, I think even the first moto, it's the start's a lot of everything, you know, in racing. You know, it's the only place you can pass the whole field. So that first moto, you know, we got off to a decent start. It wasn't, you know, wasn't out front, but you know, that's where Mike was, and he had a good start. But this moto, we'll have to get that start, you know, and it just makes things a lot easier. You know, you can ride your lines, put the bike where you want it. But you know, absolutely looking forward to it.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Let's make our way over now to Mike Alessi, who was the guy who took the first moto. Mike, you did what you've said you were trying to do all season long, which was win. How much pressure are you putting on yourself to back that up?
Just go out there and have a great race. There's no pressure, just the love of the sport, going out there competing and just racing to our full ability. I mean, at the end of the day, it's called racing. It's not called winning and losing, and that's not what it's about. It's about just going out there and having the pure joy of enjoying the race. And if the win comes, that's awesome. If we get second, that's fine. I mean, we just go out there and just do the best that we can and have fun. And these fans are great this weekend and cheering us on. And it was intense, that first moto, for about 35 minutes, just going at it. So it's great. I'm looking forward to this second moto and having some fun and trying to do the best that I can.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Alessi trying to take the pressure off, going to enjoy the moment here, but deep down inside he won't be happy unless he gets the W. Stay with us. You can go out and buy a GoPro and shoot all the cool stuff you do, although it takes someone special to shoot that. Jumping out of a helicopter and coming right down to the starting line at Washougal. Our 450 riders are ready to race here in the Pacific Northwest. Here's the track they will race on. Time for the Kawasaki track map, brought to you by the championship-proven Kawasaki KX250F, engineered for the moment of proof.
All right, off the start, these 450s going to be in second gear, shift up to third, maybe even fourth. By the time you get to this right-hander, you now have the rider with the whole shot. Up the first uphill, where the rider's going to take tremendous amount of roost if you don't get a good start. Up another hill to the highest part of the track. Got these two drop-offs now here in the second motos. Coming down into these turns, it's going to be really rough on the braking sections. The ruts in the turns are going to be really deep. It's going to be difficult here in the second moto, especially when you get into the tree sections because of the shade. And some places are sunny, some places are shade. Plays little tricks with your eyes. Up through this Red Bull area and that massive tabletop. Pretty fast section, and then this big booter jump over here in the back of this Lucas Oil turn. Now you come down into the last straightaway, coming down into the trees, and this is where it tends to get really dark. Shadows are bad. Make a right-hander. Upshift to third, possibly fourth. Try to get the bike in a high gear. Carry some momentum over those whoops, which is the finish line. Tightest section of the track. Cornering ability is key right here. And that's the red plate holder, Ryan Dungey.
He had the fastest lap in practice today, wins the Oakley Bomb Award, but it was in doubt. Most of the day, it looked like Mike Alessi was going to have the fastest qualifying time.
At a 2:07, and then right at the end of second qualifying practice, Dungey notched 2:05.
Now here's a GoPro mounted on a motocross rider. It's Josh Grant, who had a great start in the first moto. And here he's chasing Mike Alessi off the start.
Watch this, jump down into the ocean of fans right here. One of my favorite sections on this Lucas Oil Pro motocross circuit. If you've got the whole shot like Mike Alessi does and you drop down, this was the first moto of the day, just an awesome feeling. But listen to the roost hit Josh Grant's bike here. This is a section where it's really fast. I mean, you're just getting pelted at this point. But look at the speeds they're coming through these sections right now. Big jump here over the top. Back on the brakes, try to thread the needle through these ruts. Accelerate once again, and look at the difference between the light areas and the shade as you come down through here. When it gets rutted and rough, this second moto, it's really tough to see. You gotta be really careful through that section. Gonna make a right, do a double, do a triple, triple again, now get on top, ride the rear wheel.
Josh Grant leads us around there with the GoPro. Let's go to our FMF keys to the race. What is it going to take to beat Ryan Dungey today?
Well, you got to start ahead of him like you did, because once he gets out front, he could be gone. And you just got to give it 100% all the way to the checkered flag. We know Dungey is the strongest guy out there, but Mike Alessi forced him to make some mistakes by just never giving up and giving it 100% all the way to the checkered flag. And Mike Alessi breaks Dungey's moto win streak. Can he break the overall streak, though?
Yeah, 5 straight overalls for Dungey. He had 10 straight moto wins. That streak is over, as you said. Jeff, we've been talking about it both in this 450 class and also in the 250 division of this series. Ryan Dungey may be the fastest guy, but you said there are ways to try to win races even if you're not the fastest, and that's what Mike Alessi figured out how to do in Moto 1.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks where if you really guard the insides and if your pace is good and you watch your lines, you force the other rider behind you who's faster to try to do something special. In Moto 1, Dungey was trying hard. He made a mistake in the process, and it cost him.
All right, the best 450cc motocross riders in the business right now are lined up. Josh Grant, by the way, who was second early in that first moto and crashed, came back to finish 17th. He's got a clean bill of health. He's going to give it another run here. Can he extract some revenge? Andrew Short, Justin Brayton, 4th and 5th in that moto. They would like to be a little closer to the front as well. Here we go. Looks like Dungey's got the start this time ahead of Alessi. Alessi's teammate Vince Friese there as well. But Dungey knew he needed to focus on getting ahead of Alessi early, and he has done that.
Dungey out front here. Look at Alessi. This time he's taking the roost. Oh, and look at the water on the track. Look how slippery it is right there. Alessi losing traction, almost going down early.
There's that jump downhill, and the fans react. They see Dungey and Alessi 1-2. Andrew Short going to try to give a challenge on the Chaparral Honda 3rd. Tommy Hahn 4th. I think that might have been Grant toward the front as well.
Grant and Rattray look like they're rounding out somewhere around the top 10.
And now through this tight section of the course, Alessi got to do everything he can to stay with Dungey. First couple laps, Alessi definitely has some speed. Late in the race, Dungey always seems to rally. So this is a critical juncture right now. Look at Short trying to set up Alessi.
Short had a pretty good ride the first moto in 4th. A few of the Honda guys, Brayton was up there in 5th. Tommy Hahn was 7th.
And a hard left-hand turn, and they're going to head back downhill. See Dungey still in the picture. Alessi can still see him early on this first lap of the second moto. Now into the trees.
Yeah, you heard Mike Alessi. He seemed to be pretty content with that moto win. Oh, and he almost makes another mistake, or he makes a mistake, almost goes down. You can see how even the whoop section here is shaded now, and it wasn't in Moto 1. And I remember in my career, this was a difficult time of the day to race this track, because now the track, which was perfect qualifying practice, loads of traction, lines were great, now is really hard packed. It's dry and slippery in some spots. They put down some water to control the dust, like this section here. But then that hard clay underneath, it's got a little bit of rock in it. It's really, really slippery. And this is where throttle control, trying to keep the traction, all that stuff becomes of major importance.
Watching Short here, and Tommy Hahn right behind him. They're on similar equipment, different teams, but Short's Chaparral Honda team leases a factory Honda, which is what Tommy Hahn is racing on for the Muscle Milk team. And then a pair of Kawasaki's behind him, Tickle and Weimer, duking it out in 5th and 6th. And it's Mike Brown. Friese is 8th. Grant and Brayton rounding out the top 10. Hahn has had a difficult season so far. A lot of bad luck for the 32.
Yeah, and you can see, look on the handlebars of Tommy Hahn's bike here. Notice he's got those hand guards. Now that's to protect his hands from the rocks and the debris and everything that flies up, because he did suffer an injury to his hand earlier this season.
Let's get a little analysis here about what it's like to race on one of the most beautiful tracks in this championship. Tommy Hahn talks about Washougal.
Washougal's really beautiful because it's up there in the mountains and there's trees everywhere. It's real green. There's a lot of shade. The track is really unique. The dirt's very deceiving. It looks like it can have a lot of traction and be really good, but it's got a real hard base and it's kind of rocky. And with there being so many trees, it gets shadows as well too. So in your second moto, you can feel bumps that you don't see. So that can be kind of interesting. But yeah, it's a real beautiful track.